Yes, sir. Second time. Or is it third? No, second. Only kidding.
Yeah. I just a couple quick questions because I want to make it brief. If the government is assembled for the people, for the interest of the people, where do they get the authority to override as the people are asking for? Who makes that call when it comes to this type of a decision?
Talking about like this gun law?
Exactly. The people of Connecticut, they spoke very loud in opposition to a new gun law. The majority of people.
Not true. Well,
I was at the hearings. I saw them.
You were at 1076?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and that day, I would say about 225 people testified.
Yes.
Probably 200, but it was this bill, 1076. And we were all against it on our committee, you could tell that day. But that bill didn't come out. That bill was killed. Killed it that week.
Well, I was there for 1076.
Right.
I was there for 1160.
You're there the day of the vote then.
Yes.
Right. But the other side came on strong also. But
I mean, come on now. How many? There were 7
at least
people that testified.
My personal emails from North Haven, Connecticut. I don't know if you live in North Haven.
No, Hamden.
But in North Haven, I had pretty much equal numbers. I did. I'm not going to give you the emails because that's personal information.
Of course you wouldn't.
But I'm telling you the honest truth. I'm telling you the honest truth. So I had to make my decision. But as far as what happens in government, we vote on things, and sometimes we pay the consequences. Sometimes we don't. We should always. Either if you don't agree or disagree, or if you agree or disagree. That's part of government.
And I understand.
And I understand that. I believe you. I do understand you're frustrated, and I don't blame you. But this was a decision, a very difficult decision, I made, and I stand behind it.
The second part of my question is, if the Constitution is written for the people, who says the government is in charge of interpreting it?
Well, it's for the people, it's by the people, of the people, for the people. But we do make it, we have amendments, we have changed the Constitution many times through the years.
But I understand that should generally be on the general consensus of what the people are looking for.
Right.
Not what the government is looking for. Because it generally seems like it's always one way. The government is going to get what they want, regardless what the people want. And that needs to change. That's going on all across America. It's been seen in other governments. It doesn't work. Many other governments. So you guys as politicians, somebody for once and all has to put their foot down and say, enough is enough. This is not what the people are asking for. When they start rallying, when they start showing up for the hearings,
right,
that's showing something. That means something. But I guess that I could simply say you guys both turned a blind eye to what the American people were looking for.
Well, I respect your opinion. I don't agree 100%. We did turn a blind eye. This is something decision I came up with, that I made, and I'm standing behind it.
Wholeheartedly, can you agree or disagree that any one of these laws, now this is a yes or no answer, will stop a mass shooting, will save a child? Now, because every year, well, last year in the United States, there were 2.5 million gun violations, or not gun violations, 2.5 million instances where people were saved by guns. There's how many deaths?
Here's the bottom line. You're never going to pass a bill that's ever going to eradicate mass murders. You're never going to pass a bill that's going to stop drug trafficking. You're never going to stop a bill that has a dope pusher who's not going to kill a young kid with bad dope.
Right.
You're never going to pass a law that says we're not going to have any train robbers or bank robbers. You're never going to pass a bill that says we're not going to have anybody who's going to do white-collar crime embezzlement. That doesn't mean you don't pass laws. That doesn't mean you don't take steps. In Boston, I hear the people write to me and say, what are you going to get rid of pressure cookers? No, you're going to do what you do in Central Park. When the people come for the marathon, they come with bags they're see-through. Is that going to stop it? No. Is that a small step? Perhaps. I don't know. Or you do what they did up in London when they ran the race. They said, okay, nobody brings in not a lunch basket past point A. Is that going to be fully protected? No. If you're looking for an absolutism to anything we pass, zero. But that doesn't mean you don't say, all laws are taken off the table, we're not going to do a darn thing, because you know what? They're bad people, you can't stop bad people, so the hell with it. It isn't what my position is. I don't believe in that. So when you say to me, tell me if that's going to stop, no, there's nothing that begs the question. So what would? And the answer is there's nothing. As long as you have bad, ill people out in this world, either mentally or in the heart and soul, You're going to have people who are going to commit heinous acts, and there's a damn thing you and I can do about it. I don't think those kids in Boston probably were mental, maybe at a scale because of what they did, but they knew what they were doing, they well thought out their plan, and they did it. So no matter what mental health put in, that was going to take place. What could you do to stop that?
Nothing.
Bingo. But that doesn't mean you try to put in certain elements to try to slow it or prohibit it. Certain things that may slow the process, certain little glitches that get the cockroaches in the daylight a little bit more. That's what you try to do. That's what we tried to do. How do we do that? You can't buy ammo unless you do a background check. Maybe people don't like it, but if I'm a bad man and I steal your gun and I can't get enough bullets to go kill people, I'm going to go and buy bullets at Cabela's or someplace and have the bullets I want to do what I want to do. The Long Night magazine, the whole point of the Long Night magazine was that 11 kids fled the school when he was changing magazines. That's what happened. Now you may say, doesn't matter, I don't care about that. That has a little import on me, not because of 11 kids, although that does, but for the fact that he killed 5, 11 got out, but for the fact that that means there was an opportunity for a police officer to take out the guy. There's an opportunity that if my kid's in that school, he flees. There's an opportunity that if I'm in a grocery store and he's changing the magazine, he's going to shoot me next, I jump.
But wouldn't it be easier said that in a situation like that at a school, the only way to match a violent person is by having an opposing force, not by simply saying hide in a closet, huddle up,
Do I want
argue
to be
social
in
citizens.
this door when there's an OK Corral shootout by good intentioned people or not? I don't want to be any place where there's going to be gunfire, to be frankly with you. And I don't think we should have an OK Corral shootout where everybody's got a gun and the gun starts firing left and right.
So it's
You know,
okay,
Mike talks-
it's okay
Mike
to call a
talks
cop
about-
and have an
Mike-
OK
Mike-
Corral shootout.
Cop is well
That's
trained
their
and
job.
well versed. But I will tell you this, you know, Mike was talking about when that guy was assassinated on the streets of Manhattan. Right? Guy came up and shot the guy in the back of the head, and then he died. The police officers opened fire.
Okay,
People got
so you pointed to the officer without even me looking at him. I'm going to say the probability, I probably have more training than he does. No disrespect to him because it's not his fault.
And you may be
His
the
department
exception.
does not
I don't
stand
like-
behind him.
Your first
But,
name again?
John,
John, I don't write the bills for John. John may be a great guy who's an excellent marksman. And if everybody here were John in this world, we probably would have a
but
different
you're taking
outcome.
a chance that we're not. Again,
I can't guarantee
innocent
that
until proven guilty.
It's just like the bill is not made for people per se. It's made for population. Because if everybody was John, we wouldn't have any criminal law.
Is it true that laws are passed for law-abiding citizens?
Laws are always passed for law-abiding citizens.
Exactly, you know the answer to that. Only law-abiding people.
Absolutely. Because you gotta punish those who fight, who go out against society wrongfully and against social values. That's why we have
But
laws.
in all theory, show me how something like this is going to prevent a criminal from getting a gun. Just show me how that'll prevent that.
I would argue or say the gun task force. Is it perfect? No.
But the gun task force has
Yes.
also been defunded several times over and over in
Right.
different towns. They do it all the
And that
time.
was probably should never have been defunded.
Exactly, but this is where we're putting, I'm basing my safety on a defunded system.
Right.
I'm basing my safety on a system that has never been funded properly or trained properly. And you guys are going to stand up and try to defend that, but I just would like to know how any one of these will stop a criminal from getting something. They can't get in Connecticut, they go to Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire.
John, do you mean, when you ask that question, I want to make sure it's in the right context. Is the question saying, can you point to some things in this bill that either deter or inhibit a bad guy from doing a bad thing? Or is your question, which is different than saying, can you explain where that bill is going to stop a bad guy from doing a bad thing? Because I will concede to you, there's nothing in this bill that stops a bad guy from doing a bad thing. If you would concede to me that there's nothing we can ever do that's going to stop a bad guy from doing a bad thing.
I would have told you that any bill that has ever been passed will never stop a bad guy. If the ill intent is there, it's there.
I agree.
If it's not guns, it's bombs. If it's not bombs, it's gallon gas. You know, so
Exactly.
you could go on, but again,
No
this just affects the good guys. And I just want you guys to stand up for us. You say you did, okay, so, but wholeheartedly, is it you're standing up for us or are you looking at your careers? You say that you're not
Look,
working,
if I was
but
looking,
honestly,
hey, John, if I was looking at my career, would I sit here and say, in front, bring everybody to a room that, you know, we're gonna get beaten up by sticks and rocks and clubs, right? I figured it out. All right, no,
because we
but
were
again, stick by the, do you think I would do that if I wanted to be safe? No. I did what I think was, and I'll let Dave speak for himself, and maybe he's going to say ditto. I did what was my analysis of it. If I want to be safe, it'd be easy for me to say, I'm voting no.
Okay.
I'm going to vote no. That stuff's going to get through. But you know what? That's okay. Because I could stand up to everybody and say, hey, I voted no. Vote for me. I'm a good guy for the far right or the right side or the Republican side or whatever. I can easily say that. But that, to me, wasn't my decision. My decision is not based upon politics. My decision, you could disagree, is based upon policy. What do I think is fair? Do I think this is fair? Do I think this is the right thing to do? No. Do I think 1160 is the perfect bill? No. But I know if I don't say something, this goes through. I know I don't want this. I know you don't want this. And you can get mad at me for voting for that.
You could have
voting for that
said no
is
to
better
that.
than getting this.
You said no to that, and you could have said no to that.
But this would have passed. This would have passed. I know you don't believe it. It's okay. Look at your district. How many Republicans do you have in your district who voted for that?
In my district?
Yeah. How many Republicans do you have in your district? Fat zero.
Exactly.
Fat zero. So
As
no one in
a matter
your
of fact,
district,
my mayor
everybody
ran
in
the
your
task
district,
force.
everybody in your district was voting for that. In fact, the senator who represents your district. 90% of those bills are his bills.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's your district. That's not my problem. That's your problem. You need to go bring those issues to your district and say, why do you do that? Don't come to us, because if it wasn't for us, we'd have that, not that.
You're here to step in. That's why I'm coming to you. You're here to speak. If my district leaders were in front of me, I would come to them, but they're always unavailable.
And that's why we're here.
Isn't there
Because I'm
other
not
questions?
afraid.
Other
I'm not
questions?
afraid. I'm sorry.
Isn't there other questions?
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're getting into a debate.
Did you get up here before?
I did, and I stopped.
Stop.
We've been going on for hours.
John, over here. I appreciate
No, wait a minute.
the
Both
fact.
of you guys, you and you are being rude to everybody else.
Okay.
Don't you realize that?
Sir, hold on one second.
No, don't tell
John,
me, wait a minute. You
Sir,
are. It's the worst
appreciate
one
that.
meeting I've ever been at.
I thank you so much for your
I thank you guys too.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Why don't you set an agenda ahead of time and say, you get so much time, and you get so much time to respond. We'll be here till midnight. I wanted to say something, but I ain't gonna bother.
Say it.
Yes, sir.